Hello and good evening to everybody. Welcome to another interesting and interactive session of Muskaan, an initiative of Prabhakaitan Foundation and Education for All Trust, presented by Shree Cement Limited. Prabhakaitan Foundation is an organization based in Kolkata, founded by late Dr. Prabhakaitan. The foundation is dedicated to promote performing arts, culture, education, literature, gender equality, and women's empowerment. The foundation's latest initiative, Muskaan, aims at popularizing heritage literature and culture among children and young adults by weaving it into formal and informal education through student activities. Some of the ways developed to do this are cultural programs, storytelling sessions, theater, dance, music, and art, which are organized via collaborations with our national and international associations and institutes, both in India and overseas. Muskaan is organizing a dance festival this month, that is April, to celebrate International Dance Day and to encourage participation and education in dance. Today we have amongst us Ms. Yamini Reddy. Born to the legendary Kuchipudi exponents, Padma Bhushans, Raja and Radha Reddy and Kaushala Reddy, Yamini has got dance in inheritance from her parents. Dance comes naturally to Yamini as swimming to a fish. Yamini learned Kuchipudi from her parents and gave her first solo performance at the tender age of 3 in New Delhi that got her standing ovation. She has inherited her father's Tandava and her mother's Lasya, a combination that is evident in her style. She has been awarded the Yuva Ratna Award by the District Rotaract Organization and Young Achievers Award by FICCI, that's FICCI. She is also the proud recipient of the Devdasi National Award and Sangeet Natak Academy Bismillah Khan Yuva Puraskar. More recently, she has been awarded the News 24 Jashn-e-Youngistan Award and Pride of Telangana Achievers Award. I will now request all the students and guests to please keep their videos on. This is an earnest request, children, please keep your videos on. There will be a question and answer round after the session, so please feel free to ask your questions by raising your hand or putting it up in the chat box. You can send us your dance videos at muskaan@pkfoundation.org. I repeat, muskaan@pkfoundation.org. So without wasting any more time, I urge our audience to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's session. Over to you, Ms. Reddy.
Good evening, everyone. It is really a pleasure to be here and give this lecture demonstration on Kuchipudi dance before all of you. Now, dance is the primordial expression that a man has sought from much before, from the time of creation. He has expressed himself through dancing time and again. Dance is a very powerful tool in a nation. It integrates the nation, it carries forward our culture and tradition to the younger generation, and it connects our past with the modern aspirations that we have today. Now, in our classical dance, we have a story about how dance was created. It is believed that long, long back, there was a lot of turmoil on earth. There was a lot of fighting. So the gods wanted to bring peace and harmony. For this, they went to Lord Brahma and asked him to create something which could be seen and heard by everyone, irrespective of their differences. That is when Lord Brahma, who had already created the first 4 Vedas, as all of you know, he created a 5th Veda known as the Natya Veda. This Natya Veda, he handed over to Bharata Muni and asked him to come down to earth and spread all over and teach everybody. But before Bharata Muni came down to earth, he went to Lord Shiva and he presented a dance drama before him. When Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati witnessed this dance drama, they felt that there was something missing. That is when they taught Tandavam and Lasyam. Tandavam being the majestic dance or the masculine majestic dance of Lord Shiva, and Lasyam being the feminine and lyrical dance of Goddess Parvati. Having learned this Tandavam and Lasyam and incorporating it into the Natya Veda, Bharata Muni then came down to earth and he spread all over to teach this dance. Now, what happened was that due to regional differences, when he went everywhere along with his 100 sons and disciples to teach the Natya Veda, due to regional differences, even dance acquired certain styles. As of now, in present day, we have 8 classical dance styles in India. Can somebody name all 8 classical dance styles? Aindrila, you can name all 8. Can we unmute Aindrila?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes. Tell me, Aindrila.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, there are 8 classical dances in India, and one is Bharatnatyam, second is Kuchipudi, third is Mohiniyattam, fourth is Kathak, fifth is Odissi, then the sixth is Manipuri, and till now, ma'am, I know only 6. And Kathakali, yes, and Kathakali.
That's 7. You missed the newest one. Yes, Shubhanshi. Do you know the last one?
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, did she say Mohiniyattam?
Yes, she said Mohiniyattam.
Ma'am, there is a Gaudiya Nritya I have heard from my ma'am.
No, you see the newest one is what all of you are missing. That is Kshatriya from Assam. So look at India as a map and slowly let us follow it from the north to the south and understand how these dance styles are. The whole of North India has Kathak as its dance style. Now, because it's a Hindi speaking belt and the garments that they wear is different from the south, the way they dress, the jewelry they wear is different. So you'll see the Kathak dance's appearance is also different. And they use Hindi as their primary language in their music. And they employ the Hindustani music style of music. Now, when you go from there, the Kathak that belongs to Northern India, you move towards the east. In east, we have from Assam, we have Kshatriya, and from Manipur, we have Manipuri. Then we come down a little bit, and you'll find Orissa. And then from Orissa, we have Odissi. Coming further down, we have Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, which is where we find Kuchipudi, which I'm going to be talking to you about today. In Tamil Nadu, further down, we have Bharatanatyam. And finally, we reach Kerala, where we have Mohiniyattam and Kathakali, 2 styles from Kerala. So these are the 8 classical dance styles that exist today in India. Now, Kuchipudi is a dance style that belongs to the southern states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Kuchipudi initially was performed by only Brahmin boys, but it has now evolved into a style which is widely performed by women everywhere. The father of Kuchipudi is Siddhendra Yogi. He created this dance style by combining temple dances and yakshaganam. So Kuchipudi is essentially a combination of temple dances and theatrical forms. Now, Siddhendra Yogi, he was fearing the corruption of this dance style. He decided to teach it only to Brahmin boys. These Brahmin boys, they used to undertake both male and female roles. They used to travel from village to village, performing various dance dramas for the villagers. And often they would even take up social causes or whatever was the problems that were there in society and present those also before the people and before the kings and the court. So dance was not only about performing mythological stories in order to keep up the morals in society, but it was also about bringing social reform. So today, the Kuchipudi that we know is performed by both men and women, thanks to the gurus who have been undertaking this endeavor to promote this dance style. In Kuchipudi, we employ, can somebody tell me which language we primarily use in Kuchipudi dance? Because I said it is from the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So can anybody guess which language we use for the music mainly in Kuchipudi?
Ma'am, if I'm not wrong, it's Telugu.
Yes, Telugu and Sanskrit. These are the primary primary language that we use in our dance. But now, since we have in a fast globalizing world where we have few borders, we also employ various other languages. For instance, we ourselves have choreographed many items in Hindi language to Hindustani music. So nowadays we have become more diverse, but it is traditionally performed to Telugu language and Sanskrit language. We use the Carnatic style of music, which is what is popular here in the southern states of India. Now, Kuchipudi being a temple dance form has certain qualities. Being a combination of temple and theatre form, it has certain unique qualities. But before I go there, I would like to ask you something. When you go to school, what is the first thing that you learn? When you enter school, when you go to nursery, what is the first thing that you learn? Can anyone answer that?
Yes, ma'am. We learn discipline.
Discipline, yes, but in terms of language, what is the first thing you learn? Unmute yourself.
We learn respect.
We learn alphabet. A, B, C, D. The first thing that we learn are our A, B, C, Ds when we go to school. So just like we learn our ABCDs in school, the first thing that we learn in dance, also we have ABCDs. They are known as adavus that we begin our training in dance. So I'm going to show to you a few adavus. Today I'm assisted by my senior disciple, Sharat. He will be also joining the workshop and he'll be assisting me. First, I'm going to start with my Namaskaram. This is a prayer that we do. This prayer is first to the God, then to the Guru, then to the audience or whoever is watching us. Then we pray to Bhu Devi, asking for her forgiveness because we are going to stamp on her and dance. So rhythmically, how we do this dance, this Namaskaram. Typically, when we dance, we have certain adavus, alphabets that we learn. For instance, we have adavus in flat, where we dance with feet flat. This is Ghattita Prasaritam. So this is our adavu, the first adavu that we begin with. Like this position in flat, then we have position on toe as well. So this is called a Kunchita Padam. Takadina toe, takadina. And then we have adavus that we learn in Anchita Padam or on heel.
1, 2, 3, start.
So you also saw in between how I combine my heel and toe position. So like this, after learning our alphabet, we learn to put these alphabets together and form words. Words, tirmanam, and sentences. So, for instance, let me show you one. Tadiginatum, 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 ta. Okay?
2, 3.
If you saw this word was repeated 3 times. That's why it's called a tirmanam. And at the end of a tirmanam, we have a ta, like a full stop. Similarly, we weave these tirmanams and words and make sentences. And what comes at the end of a sentence? A full stop. For instance, nitta, dimita, kitatakattalang, utakadimitakatadinginatum, ta. Now, when we dance the sentence, how does it look?
1, 2, 3,
So this was a sentence. We put these sentences together and then form paragraphs. These paragraphs are known as jati. What I showed you was a sentence. Now, when I make a paragraph, for example, ditta, dhimita, kita takata langu taka dhimita kata dinginatum, ditta, dhimita, kita takata langu taka takata dinginatum, ditta, dhimita, dhimita, kita ditta, dhimita, ta kita ditta, dhimita, dhimita, kita taka tadiginatum, 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 ta. So this would be a paragraph. Now I'm going to dance. So children, this is how we put our paragraphs together. Now, once we learn to make paragraphs, we also learn to tell stories. These stories are expressed through our entire body, through the use of facial expressions, our limbs, including rhythmic footwork. Next, I'm going to show to you a small story. First, let me narrate it and show you how we use our gestures. In dance, we have a language of gestures known as mudras. We learn these mudras and we use them to tell stories. For instance, when we use this gesture as a flower, we use a tripataka hasta and dola to show an elephant. We show a karkataha hasta to show a forest. We show alapadma to show the sun like this, the moon, and the stars. So we learn these gestures and we use them to express and tell stories. Now, let me tell you a story. There was a forest. There were different kinds of flowers in the forest. One day, an elephant was roaming in the forest. The elephant was thirsty. He found a lake. You see, this is water, and when water is bound, it becomes a lake. The elephant stepped into the lake to drink water, but the frog started croaking. Naga. The frogs were trying to warn the elephant of her. What is this, children? Can anyone guess? It's a crocodile. The elephant there was a ding-dong fight between the elephant and the crocodile. The elephant was caught. What did the elephant do? He prayed. He prayed to which Lord? He prayed to Lord Vishnu, who threw his chakra and killed the crocodile. The elephant was then free to roam the forest. So this is how we utilize. Now, I'm going to ask my senior disciple Sharat to demonstrate to you a short rhythmic piece called Jati Swaram. Jati Swaram, you will notice that in this, it's a pure dance, a nritta piece where there is no meaning conveyed. There is no story to tell. It's just a beautiful combination of rhythmic patterns and melodious notes. Pakadina tom, pakadina tom, pakadina dutta, dimita, dutta, palangu takati, pakadina tom, dutta, dimita, dutta, palangu takati, pakadina tom, dutta, dimita, pakadina, Tajam tarum tatum tari tatadinge na tajam 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 tajam. So this is pure dance without any meaning or expression. Now, Sharat will show to you a small excerpt from Manduka Shabdam, the story that I told you earlier. He is going to show you the small part. From Sharat, you can show from Karra Kirrata, Kirradha Kutu, and Ugra Shapa. One. So you see the difference between the earlier piece, which is pure dance, Nritta, no story to tell. Here, now Sharat will be showing you an expression, a story through dance. And let me see if you can make out and correlate the story that I told you earlier with this dance. Kahirra kirrata kirradha kutuda kudi kutu deku kinanata ugrashapam je gajendrud bhaktu deibali magari chetan ugrashapam je gajendrud bhaktu deibali magari chetan nam kita kata dudhu kita kata nam kita kata dudhu kita Vasinundiyu Vedaga Hariketavesina Keti Chakramucheta Madarini Samharinchina Mahiman Vasinundiyu Vedaga Hariketavesina Keti Chakramucheta Madarini Samharinchina Mahiman Dinudhanuta Tajam Parikita Dinudhanuta Tajam Parikita Janaki Kalyan Vijabala Bhima Ganamag Rama Shri Raghurama Varako Bandarama Salam Dhit Salam Dhit Salam Dha Shida Data Dha Shida Data Jay Shida Data Jay Shida Data Tari Shida Data Tatsai Shida Dha Shida Data Dha Shida Shida Data Jay Shida Data Jay Shida Shida Tari Shida Data Tatsai Shida Data Dha Shida Data Dha Shida Shida Data Jay Shida Data Jay Shida Shida Tari Shida Data Tatsai Shida Data Tatsai Tadungina Tambakta Tadungina Takta Tadungina Tampa. So this item, did you recognize it from the story that I told you earlier? Did you recognize the movement? Very good. Now you must be wondering, why was there salam, did salam in this item? Whereas when we are doing an item about Vishnu, we are doing an item about Gajendra, because you see at that time, the Nawab influence was very much there here in the southern states of Andhra Pradesh here. And the Salam Jatis became very popular because these items were sometimes presented in the courts of the Nawab. So the Salam Jatis became very popular. So you can see that our integration, our national integration has been going on for centuries, and we have lived together and adopted each other's culture for such a long time. Now, if you remember earlier, I had told you about Bharata Muni, who went to Lord Shiva and Parvati before coming down to earth to kind of propagate dance. So when he went to Lord Shiva taught him the majestic dance called Tandavam. Now, Tandavam is a masculine form of dance performed by Lord Shiva. It is believed that in our dance, and also in Kuchipudi dance in particular, and even in us as a person, we have a good balance of male and female energies. So in dance also, we have a balance of Tandavam and Lasyam. The next piece that I'm going to show to you is Tandavam, the majestic dance of Lord Shiva. Can I please share my screen?
I welcome all of you. I, Yamini Reddy, will be taking you through a journey of the Kuchipudi dance world. Shiva is known as Nataraja, the Lord of Dance. He, along with his consort Parvati, danced Tandavam and Lasyam. Tandavam, the majestic dance of Lord Shiva, and Lasyam, the soft and lyrical dance of Goddess Parvati. Together, they dance for the enjoyment of the universe. And together, they also symbolize Purusha and Prakriti, that is, man and nature. Next, I'm going to show to you Shiva Tandavam. This Tandavam is of Shiva, his majestic dance, which is masculine and vigorous. Shiva, in his multifaceted manifestations, exemplifies the one supreme being who resolves all conflicts on earth. He is Nataraja, the Lord of Dance.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Takadunadum, takadunadum, takadunada. Ta, jam, takata, jam. Takadi, kudi, kudi, kudadi, kita takada, ta, jam, takata, jam, takadi, kudi, kudi, kudadi, kita takada, ta, jam, takata, jam, takadi, kudi, kudi, kudadi, kita takada, ta, jam, takata, jam, takadi, kudi, kudi, kudadi, kita takada, takada, jam, takadi, kudagada, takadam, jam, takada, jam, takadi, kudagada, takadam, ta, dinginatum, 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 dingitago, 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 harudu druguta tayyaniya de nauma harudu druguta tayyaniya de nauma harudu druguta tayyaniya de nauma harudu druguta tayyaniya
So what you saw right now was the majestic dance of Lord Shiva, or the Tandava. Now, all of you are getting a brief introduction to various dance styles. Now, you must be wondering, what is that uniqueness of Kuchipudi that sets it apart from the other 7 classical dance styles in India? Now, Kuchipudi has certain unique features, having originated as a combination of temple dances and theatre forms. It has certain unique features such as Pravesha Darvus. Pravesha Darvus are entrance numbers or entry numbers where the dancer enters on stage. The character that she enters, she comes, she introduces herself, and then begins the story. So, for instance, if I am Princess Usha, then I enter as Princess Usha and I introduce myself as the daughter of Banasura and how beautiful I am. And then that is how the entrance numbers are in Kuchipudi. These are a very unique feature of Kuchipudi. Now, I'm going to show you how these entrance numbers vary for a princess or for a king, a masculine entry, a feminine entry. For instance, if I'm entering as a king, or even if not a king, if I'm entering as Yamaduta, the god of death. Usually we portray Yamaduta coming and taking the life. So we have a very strong rhythm. For example, Kuntari did dikku kuntari did dikku reke kina jana tata. So that's how we do for Yamaduta. But if we were to do for a princess, then how would we enter? dhan natta tat thi dhi natta dhan tat tai dhan natta dhan tat thi dhi natta dhan tat tai dhan natta takadinata. So you see, these are the unique entrance numbers, as we call them, or pravesha daravus. Now, I would like you to get up and join me to learn a few adavus in Kuchipudi dance today. Just please make sure that you're not wearing any footwear, because the dance that we do is very pious, and the area that we dance in now becomes very pure, like a temple. So please don't wear any footwear, no slippers, and let us try out a few steps in Kuchipudi, simple steps. The first and most important thing in dance we must know is that the posture is very important. In order to form a good posture, we must first learn a few basic positions of Kuchipudi. This is Samapadam. Sharath, would you like to demonstrate so that I can show them more clearly? Come here closer. Samapadam, which is, as you can see, the feet are placed together. The body is kept erect here, completely straight, and the shoulders are relaxed. This is, and the knees are unbent. This is our Samapada position. Everybody stand in Samapada position. Show me. Put your hands on your waist, your wrist on your waist. Now from this Samapada position, we come into Aramandi, Ardha Mandala, where we open our feet. We keep a 2-finger space gap between the feet. We rotate our feet outwards to the side, and we sit in half sitting position. Not in full sitting, but half sitting. This is known as Ardha Mandalam or Aramandi. Most of our steps are done in this Aramandi position. What is important is, again, you keep the back straight, no bending forward like this. This is wrong. You should keep your back straight. This is very important. Next, in the same position, you go down slowly. Lift your heels and go down gradually on your toes without bending forward. Again, without bending forward. This is called Muramandi position or full sitting position. Now, the same way, without bending forward, come up straight into Aramandi and join your feet in Samapadam. So let us try first the first step of dance, which is in Ardha Mandalam. So everybody take your Ardha Mandalam position with your feet open, 2-finger space gap. Can everybody put their videos on if you're trying out these steps? Yes. So now when you're doing this, sit in Aramandi and strike 1 on each leg, okay? 1, without going up. 1, take your leg up and bring it down. 1 and 1. Tai, he, down, tam, tat, tai, hit, tam, tam, tai, he, down, tam, tat, tai, hit, tam, tai, he, down, tam, takadinna, tom, takadinna, ta. This was flat. Now let us try a position, a toe position, okay? Let's try the toe position, the Kunchita Padam. Take your hands over your head, takadinna tom, takadinna. Then place your right foot on toe and then flat. Pa, 2, pa, 1, pa, 2, pa. Tai, he, da, tam, tat, tai, hit, tam, tai, he, da, tam, tat, tai, Tai, hit, ta, tam, ta. This is toe. And now how about the heel position? When we do our heel position, we again start in the sitting position, but we stand. We stand, we put our foot on heel, like you see here. His foot is put on heel. He's standing completely straight. And then down. Stand, sit. Now this stand, sit motion gives us a dipping motion in our dance. It gives a dipping movement, which is very typical of Kuchipudi. Tai, he, da, tam, tat, tai, hit, ta, tam, tai, he, da, tam, tat, tai, hit, ta, ta. Now, how about we do a diditai step, which is in sitting, but on heel? We do 1, 2, 3. How do we do 1, 2, 3, Sharat? First, 1 is on heel, 2 is on the left leg, and then you put this foot down in 3. Now, so repeat the same thing on the left. 1, 2, 3. Come forward a little bit so that they can see. Show it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So everybody get ready. We are going to do this step. Take your Aramandi position, half sitting position. And let's start. 1, 2, 3, start. This, tay. This, tay. This, tay. This, tay. Double. This, tay. 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 Double. Okay, so we learn, we practice, we'll come to the triple speed, and then sometimes we go even 1 speed higher than this. Now, one step you must try in Samapadam, which is basically, again, since Kuchipudi, the dipping movement is very typical and unique of Kuchipudi. This is also has the dipping feature in it, which is you go 1 on the right, 2 on the left, 1 on the right, strike and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Palm, touch, tay. Hit, touch, palm, tay. He now in double. Down. Palm, touch, tay. Hit, touch. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. Double. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2. Double. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop. So this is how we learn our adavus. After we learn our adavus, you learn to construct the sentences, tirmanams, then jatis, and that's how your dance training typically begins and goes on for many, many years. Classical dance is extremely disciplined form of dance. It is almost a science. So it takes a while to learn it, to gather that discipline over the art form and to master it. It takes a long time. But with a lot of practice, as you see all the great artists, what is great about them is that they have put in numerous and numerous hours of practice and sadhana to be where they are today. So today, before I conclude the session, I would like to give you a glimpse of the famous plate dance of Kuchipudi. Here, the dancer climbs on the rim of the brass plate and executes rhythmic patterns. Now, this plate dance is not a gimmick because it is believed that the dancer who is dancing on the rim of a brass plate, his or her earthly connections are completely broken and their prayers reach directly to God. In fact, there is a reference of this dance, the plate dance, in the Varaha Upanishad, where Varaha Swami has recites the shlokam to Bhrigu Maharishi, telling him that comparing a yogi in meditation to a dancer dancing on a brass plate. So you have to understand here the dancer is not compared with the yogi, but the yogi is compared to the dancer because of the amount of concentration, focus, and the combination of the rhythmic movements and everything that has to be combined in this. So let me present to you the plate dance of Kuchipudi.
Namaskaram. I welcome all of you. I, Yamini Reddy, will be taking you through a journey of the Kuchipudi vocals. I have M. Chandrakant. With the a gimmick or an acrobat, all his earthly connections. And today,
tagidata jum tagidata jum tagidata jum tag jum tay 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 dit tagidata tagidata dit tagidata 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 jum tag jum dit tagidata tagidata dit tagidata tagidata dit tagidata jum tag jum dit tagidata tagidata jum tag jum dit tagidata tagidata jum tag jum dit tagidata tagidata jum dit tagidata tagidata jum dit tagidata tagidata dit 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 ta dit tagidata dit tay dit tagidata dit ta Mangalam Kausalendraya Mahaniya Gunatmane Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam
So I hope you enjoyed today's lecture demonstration. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, I think Andrila has a question. We just take one question, ma'am. You can answer.
Yes.
First of all, ma'am, it was it was my desire to see you and to see you perform live, and I think it has been fulfilled today by having a session with you. And
Thank
ma'am,
you.
I had one question, and it was that what does the plate dance in Kuchipudi actually signify?
The plate dance in Kuchupudi, like I told you, it signifies the greatness of this art form. Here, when the dancer climbs on the rim of the brass plate, his or her earthly connections. What do we mean by earthly connections? That this is my father, this is my mother, this is my business, this is my school. Such earthly connections are all completely broken. So the dancer goes into this very high form, meditative form, and it becomes one with the God. So their souls merge and he becomes one with the universal one. And it actually builds up to the climax of the Kuchipudi dance, which is why plate dance is typically performed at the end of the concert.
So on behalf of the foundation, I would like to thank Ms. Yamini Reddy for this wonderful session, very insightful session. I learned a lot about the dance form. We are all lay people. We don't know the classical dance forms and much of it. So we've learned some of it, obviously. So thank you very much once again, ma'am. I would also like to show my gratitude towards our presenter, Sri Cement Limited and Associate Education for All Trust. Last but not the least, I would also like to show appreciation towards our young viewers here. Without their enthusiasm, this session would not have been successful. So thank you all for joining in, and hopefully must have enjoyed the session. Thank you very much for being there. Stay well, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye for now. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again.
Thank you for having me, and a big thank you to Prabhakaitan Foundation and Sri Cement for having this lecture demonstration. And I look forward to presenting this to you live someday in person.
Sure. We are also, I guess all of us would be looking for some place or some venue where we can watch you perform.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks.